I will keep this for now. Mata amatakunot Tharindi, Sanju, tell me when me slide dekata yanna kiyala, because this is very important. Okay? Right. So today, now last time we talked about something called informative writing. Yes? Sanju, what is informative writing? Sanju.
Informative writing is informal.
No. That's not informal.
Summary. No.
Informative. ඒ මොකද්ද වචනෙන් මොන වචනෙන්ද ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ?
Information data.
Exactly. Yes. So කාට හරි inform කරනනේ කාට හරි if you want someone to know about something, you would do some informative writing. Isn't that right, Sanju?
Yes.
Yes, right. Okay, so today we are going to talk about descriptive writing. Okay, what is it, Tharindi? Tharindi, can you guess what descriptive writing is? Descriptive writing. මේක දිහා බලන්න නැතුව කියන්න බලන්න ඊයේ සැරේ මොකද්ද මේ ස්ක්‍රීන්ෂොට් එකක් අරගෙන ටක් ගාලා උත්තරේ කිව්වනේ බලන්න නැතුව කියන්න බලන්න descriptive මොන වගේ වචනයක්ද ඒ what's the word that goes closest to it
විස්තර කිරීමක්
yes tell me in English so
describe.
Yes, that's right. So you're trying to describe something, right? කාට හරි දෙයක් කියලා දෙනවට වඩා ඒකේ විස්තරය කියන්නේ ඔයාල් ඒක කියවද්දී ඒ පුද්ගලයාගේ හිතේ ඒ පින්තූරෙ මැවෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? So that is good descriptive writing. දැන් ඔය ගොඩක් authors ලා හොඳ authors ලා හොඳට ලියන අය කියන්නේ නෑනේ she was sad කියලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ there were tears in her eyes and she had frown lines on her face and her whole body looked saggy, her body was sagging and she was sighing heavily. කෙලින්ම දුකින් ඉන්නේ කියලා කියන්නේ වෙන වෙන දේවල් කියනවා අපිට එයාගේ පෙනුම එයාගේ හැසිරීම තේරුම් අරගෙන එයා ඉන්නේ දුකින් කියලා කඳුර ගන්න. ඒතකොට ඒ usually those are the better authors, right? හොඳ authors ලා කියන්නේ ඒ වගේ අයට. So that is why so now දැන් පුද්ගලයෙක්ව describe කරනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන් තැනක් වෙලාවක් event එකක් right එකින් එක කියනවා. ඒතකොට අපි දන්නවා මොකක්ද උනේ කොතනද උනේ ඊට පස්සේ මොකද උනේ ආපු කොහමද උනේ එයා මොනවද නම් හිටියේ එයා මොනවද කෑවේ එයා මොනවද කිව්වේ everything is there right. It needs good organization, that is chronological, spatial and order of importance. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපිට විස්තරයක් කියද්දී මැදින් පටන් අරගෙන sorry නෑ මම ඉස්සරහට මම මුලින් වෙච්ච කතාව කියනවා මුලින් කතාව කියාගෙන යද්දි මැදදී ආයෙ දෙයක් මතක් වෙනවා ඒක කියනවා. That is not going to work. Again location. අතන වෙච්ච එකයි මෙතන වෙච්ච එකයි ආයෙ අතන වෙච්ච එකයි ආයෙ මෙතන වෙච්ච එකයි මාරුවට කියලා දීලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. කියවන එක්කෙනා should have a very clear understanding of what happened, right? So analogies, similes, metaphors, they can සමාන පද ඊළඟට probe අපේ ඔය කියන්නේ එක කියමන තියෙන භාෂාවේ ඒව පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕන, right? So right now let's read this out loud, okay? And then you have to draw a picture on what is what you can understand from this. Okay, the sky was a thunderous black. Excuse me. The dark. Wait, Tharindu. I mean, බැරි වුණාට කමක් නැහැ.
Dayashini sister said she will join this class because she has a technical error.
So Gayashini's sister is going to join, is it?
Yes.
Gayashini won't Can't join.
Yes.
Okay. That's too bad. Right. Anyway, now listen to it. Right? Mama kiyaddi oyalata pinthurayak ලැබෙන්න. The sky was a thunderous black. The dark clouds promised imminent rain. Imminent කියන්නේ මේ දැන් වහ එන්න කියන. The trees were twisting and shaking as the hard, cold wind passed through the dark streets. This coldness made Sam shiver. She drew her red sweater tighter around her and checked her watch for the 100th time. She was on the pavement and seemed to be waiting for someone. Her long dark hair was in a tangled mess. But her troubled face was more prominent. Right? Her eyes were red and swollen after days of crying. Finally, after half an hour of waiting, she sat down on the hard pavement, resigned to her fate. පැය භාගයක් හිටගෙන හිටියා. බැලුවා මොකද උනේ එනවා waiting. We don't know for what. Right? එයා pavement එකේ වාඩි වුණා. Resigned to her fate. දැන් ඉතින් කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ කියලා. Okay? So, Sanju, shall we read it? And then Tharindu read it and ලොකුවට පාට කරන්න ඕනේ. Just draw කරන්න ඕනේ. සාමාන්‍ය මේ අදහස draw කරන්න. Right? ගස් වැල් අහස මේ ගර්ල්ව ඇඳලා යන්තම් ඒ කලර්ස් වලට ගැලපෙන්න පොඩ්ඩක් මොනවා හරි රෙඩ් පෙන් එකකින් හරි එහෙම ගාලා චුට්ටක් ටක් ගාලා විනාඩි 10ක් වගේ ඇතුළත පින්තූරයක් එවන්න තියෙන්නේ. කැතට ඇඳද කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. I don't need professional proper drawing. Sanju, read it for me please.
Yeah, Miss, I will say.
What is it, Sanju?
Moyana Miss Adela.
Right. Okay, nene. Then hayin කියවන්න.
The sky was thunders black. The dark
Clouds promised
imminent rain. The trees were twisting and shaking as the hard could win.
No, what is this word?
Shaking.
No, this one. Cold.
Cold. Wind passed through the dark streets. This coldness made some
Sam.
shiver.
Shiver කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? වෙවුලනවා, right?
She drew her red
sweater lighter
around her and checked her watch.
Sanju, මේ ED තියෙනකොට ඔයා id sound එකක් add කරනවා. id නෙමෙයි d sound එකක් එක් වෙන්නේ. Okay? Checked නෙමෙයි.
Yeah.
Checked. Right? Here promised නෙමෙයි. Promised.
Yeah.
Okay? Checked her.
Check her watch for the 100th time. She was on the pavement and seemed to be waiting for someone. Her long dark hair was in a tangled mess but her travel days was more
What is this? What's this word?
enjoy-
Troubled.
feeling travel
Troubled face.
days was more prominent. Her ears
No, 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 no. Her eyes.
yeah, her eyes were red and swollen after days of crying. Finally, after half an hour of waiting, she sat down on the hard pavement.
Pavement.
Pavement, resigned
Resigned.
to her fate.
Right. Okay. Now, right. So, තව එකක් තමයි මට මේ කියන්න මේ ඔයාලා කියවද්දි මැදදී මතක් වුණේ දැන් බලන්න අපි කතා කරන්නේ අතීතයේ වෙච්ච දෙයක් විදිහට right අතීතයේ වෙච්ච දෙයක් නේ එතකොට the same tense has to continue එක සැරේටම present tense එකක් පාවිච්චි වෙන්න බෑ මේ අපි කතා කරන්නේ කලින් දවසක වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන එතකොට the tense has to continue ඔයගලන්ගේ writing වල මම දැකපු දෙයක් පටන් ගන්නවා past tense එකෙන් present tense එකට හරි future tense එකට හරි යනවා ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති තැනක right අපි එදිනෙදා දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරනවා නම් present tense පාවිච්චි කරන එක වෙනම දෙයක් නැත්නම් ඉස්සරහට වෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් වෙනවාට එකම කතාව එකම තැනක ගැන කතා කරද්දී tenses මාරු වෙන්න බෑ okay right Tharindu
The sky was thunderous black. The dark clouds promised imminent
no no no
rain.
no 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 look at it again අද මම ඉච්චර සැර කරන්නේ නැහැ ඉතින් පවුනේ ළමයා
Imminent
Mhm.
imminent rain. The trees was twisting and shaking as a hard, cold wind passed through the dark streets. This coldness made Sam shiver. She drew her red
sweater
sweater tighter around her and checked her watch for the 100th time. She 100th time she was on the pavement and
not payment Tharindu payment කියන්නේ සිංහලෙන්
pavement and she meant to be waiting.
ඔන්න ඔයාටත් සංජුගේ ලෙඩේ ඇවිල්ලා CMed කියලා හොස්පිටල් එකක් අපේ ගෙවල් ගාව තියෙනවා හැබැයි මේක නම් නෙමෙයි
seemed to be waiting for someone. Her long dark hair was in a tangled mess, but her troubled face was more prominent. Her eyes were red and swollen after day of crying. Finally, after half an hour and waiting, she sat down on the hard pavement, resigned to her fate.
good right now can you draw and color quickly and then send me a WhatsApp picture it's 7:22 7:30 විතර වෙද්දි පුළුවන් වේද Sanju and Tharindu can you
Okay, miss.
Yes.
right okay
Excuse me, Miss.
Yes, Tharindu, tell me.
Miss, I am Gayashini. Just now joined.
Hi, Gayashini. Sorry, when I switched the video off, can't see anyone. Okay, right. So while the others are working on it, I'll quickly show you what we did, right? So we discussed about descriptive writing. From the name itself, what can you tell me, Gayashini? Gayashini?
Describe something.
That's right? So when you say describe something, it means you need to, now when someone is reading what you have written, you should be able to picture it, right? A good author will always, like I was telling Sanju and Tharindu, the good author will not say directly, she was sad. He will say different things to make us realize that she was sad, right? So like, let's say her eyes were swollen and they were red, and she looked, she was all hunched up. Give me a minute. Sorry about that. Right. So, okay. So you have to be able to create a good, a good picture in someone's head with this. And so you can't have, jumping from one place to another. You can't then කතාව පටන් අරගෙන යද්දී ඉන්නකෝ ඊට පස්සේ වෙච්ච දේ නේ පස්සේ උඩට ඊට කලින් මෙහෙම. You can't have that. Then will that go into somebody's head? No. Right? So, and order of importance. All the little details are very important, right? So now this is, I wanted you all to read out aloud, and then I asked you to ask them to draw this, right? The professional marlasana drawing on there, but I want you to take this idea and put it onto paper, and let's see how well this description, how well this is described, right? Shall we read, Gayashini? I'll read it once for you, and then you can read it. The sky was a thunderous black. The dark clouds promised imminent rain. The trees were twisting and shaking as the hard, cold wind passed through the dark streets. This coldness made Sam shiver. She drew her red sweater tighter around her and checked her watch for the 100th time. She was on the pavement and seemed to be waiting for someone. Her long dark hair was in a tangled mess, but her troubled face was more prominent. Her eyes were red and swollen after days of crying. Finally, after half an hour of waiting, she sat down on the hard pavement, resigned to her fate. Okay, Gayashi. Oh, sorry.
The sky was a thunderous black. The dark clouds promised imminent rain. The trees were...
Okay, Gayashini, one thing that I hear from your voice is, when you come to the end of a sentence, Gayashini, make an English money, right? This is a bit tough. This is like pronunciation aspect. Voice එක යටට යන්න ඕන Gayashini, right? Sentence එක, it's called intonation. We have to go down. Our voice has to go down. නැත්තම් එතන sentence එක ඉවරයි කියන එක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? The sky was a thunderous black. The dark clouds promised imminent rain. No. එතකොට ඒක ඉවර වෙනවා. Hari, you catch your readers off guard. They don't know what you're trying to say, right? I will show you. The sky was a thunderous black. The dark clouds promised imminent rain. Can you see? It shows a flow.
Yes.
All right. එහෙම කඩන්න එපා. එතකොට ඔලුවට ගැහුවා වගේ. All right. Okay. Right.
The sky was a thunderous black. The dark cloud promised imminent rain. The trees were twisting and shaking as the hard, cold wind passed through the dark streets. This coldness made Sam shiver. She drew her red sweater tighter around sweater tighter around her and checked her watch for the 100th time. She was on the pavement and seemed to be waiting.
Pavement කියන්නේ සිංහලෙන්.
Pavement and seemed to be waiting for someone. Her long dark hair was in a tangled mess, but her troubled face was more prominent. Her eyes were red and swollen after days of crying. Finally, after half an hour of waiting, she sat down on the hard pavement, resigned to her fate.
Right. Okay. So now can you try and draw this picture? Lassanta artistic මුකුත් ඕනේ, just quickly, you know, the eyes, the shapes, the clouds, the trees. Gayashini, what do you say? Can you?
Okay, Miss, I will try.
Okay, right. I'm here. The only thing is I'm switching off the video, so then I can't see y'all. මන්දන්නේ ඇයි කියලා presentation මට word එකේදී නම් පේනවා. Presentations වලදී පේන්නේ. we all right? Rashini, are you okay?
Miss, I'm
Rashini,
still drawing. I'm still drawing.
you're what?
Still
Rash-
drawing.
All right. No, I mean, it's not hard or anything like that, right?
No.
Tharindi? Okay, right. Tharindi, how are you feeling?
Drawing, miss. I'm drawing, miss.
That's okay. That's not what I asked. How are you feeling? Are you still okay?
Okay, miss.
Right. You have to tell me if you don't feel okay, right? එතකොට මම ඔයාලට වැඩ දෙන්නේ නැතුව you can just listen to the lesson. Sanju, how are you? Are you doing okay? අපි දැන් එවමුද? නැත්නම් අපිට වෙන වැඩක් කරන්න වෙන්නේ නැද්ද? ගයාශිනීට නම් ටිකක් වෙලාව දෙන්න පුළුවන්. But that is also after the class. Sanju has already sent it. Oh. Right. See, now I think Sanju has got a very good idea. Now, what is a sweater, Sanju? Sanju?
Miss Kim.
Sweater එකක් කියන්නේ අර මේ නුවරඑළිය පැත්තේ හිමයි දාන්නේ නේද? Blazer. මොකද ඒකට කියන්නේ jersey එක. ඒ වගේ එකක් නේ. මට දැන් I don't see a sweater on this girl. Okay, and pavement okay, trees okay. Trees are twisting and shaking. ඒක පෙන්නලා තියනවාද ඔයා මගේ? And her watch? Where's her watch? And can you use a bit of colors, Sanju? Sanju? What is it, Sanju? පොඩ්ඩක් ඔය දැන් කලර්ස් ටිකක් තියෙනවානේ. ඒව චුට්ටක් මොකක් හරි සමාන මොකක් හරි පෙන් එකකින් හරි පෙන්සිල් එකකින් හරි පොඩ්ඩක් පාට කරන්න පුළුවන් දේ කලර්ස්. What is it? Right. Try, Sanju. Okay? And resend, please.
Okay, miss.
Right. අර සමහර details ඔය මිස් කරලා තියෙනවා. Other than that අනිත් තියෙන details ඔක්කොම show එකකට තියෙනවා. Gayashini, is it possible to add a bit of color?
Miss?
Is it possible to add a bit of color? And is she wearing a
Okay, Miss, but
sweater?
I don't have it.
Right.
Yes.
No, not even a highlighter.
I will see, Miss.
I know it's annoying, but එතකොට තමයි description එක හරියටම ඔළුවට ගියාද නැද්ද කියන එක පේන්නේ. That's why. Tharindu, soon
Okay, Miss, I will try.
7:45 ඉවර වුණත් එව්වත් නැතත් I'm continuing. It's 7:41 now. Only 4 minutes more. Tharindu, can you use colors?
Okay, Miss.
Right. And one thing I realized is Tharinduge මේකේ වහිනවද? නෑ නේද?
ළඟට කොළ
Alright. Okay. No, because මොකද දන්නවද ගයාශිනීගේ සංජුගේ වහිනවා. මේකේ වහිනවා කියලා නෑ හැබැයි. Right? The dark clouds promised imminent rain. Dark clouds කිව්වේ ඔන්න වහාම වැස්ස එන්න හදනවා. Promised. It hasn't happened yet. Right. This is nice, Sanju. හොඳට colour කරලා තියෙනවා. Right. Just one more minute. Okay. Let's continue. If you didn't send me what I asked you to send already, do so after the class, please. Okay. Right. Now, here you have to do descriptive writing. Okay. So look at this picture. So look at this picture, right? Look at the background, look at how he's sitting and where his hands are, and how what his age is like, his clothes, and what sort of emotions are coming out of it, right? So Can you start that now? Or shall I? No. What we'll do is, please take a picture of this. නැත්නම් එහෙම හැමතිස්සෙම වෙලාව දෙන්න ගියොත් ක්ලාස් එකේ වෙන වැඩක් කරන්න වෙන්නේ. Hello Malita, how are you? Can you all take a screenshot of this? And, then you have to send me, okay? 5 to 6 sentences about describing this. The man was hunched over with his face in his hands. His clothes were dirty and looked poor or and looked ragged, and as if they had not seen they have seen better days but not anymore, something like that. Okay, Malita me api දැන් කරන්නේ descriptive writing කියලා එකක්, right? Descriptive writing කියන්නේ අපි දෙයක් කියවුවම අපිට ඒ පින්තූරය ඇඳෙන්න ඕන, right? අපේ ඔළුවේ හිතේ ඒ පින්තූරය ඇඳෙන්න ඕන. ඒක තමයි හොඳ descriptive writing එකක් කියන්නේ, right? දැන් මේ වගේ කියන්නේ මේකේ අහස, ගස්, ඒ ළමයා විස්තරේ ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා මේකේ. So අපිට හොඳ author කෙනෙක්ට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන මෙයා හිතේ අමාරුවෙන් දුකෙන් ඉන්නේ කියන එක කෙලින්ම කියන්නේ නැතුව මේ විස්තරෙන් අපිට තේරෙනවා. Okay, right. That's better, Gayashini. No, Gayashini හැබැයි වැස්ස දාලා තිබුණේ නැහැ, right? Okay, sorry about it. මම ඉස්සෙල් එහෙනම් සංජු විතරයි නේද වැස්ස දාලා තිබුණේ. සංජු වැස්ස තියෙන්න බෑ. Okay, it promised imminent rain. Right. Okay, so take a screenshot of this. Now we are going to talk about expository writing. Okay, expository writing. Make informative writing වගේ තමයි, but the only difference is it tries to give the reader your opinion, right? ඔයාලගේ opinion එක. ඔයාලා ඒ මාතෘකාව සම්බන්ධව හිතන්නේ මොකද්ද කියන එකත් කියනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන්, right? Inform නුත් කරනවා, ඊට අමතරව මෙහෙම කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ, මෙහෙම වෙන්නයි ඕන, මෙහෙම කරන්න, එහෙම විස්තරෙත් දෙනවා, right? සාමාන්‍යයෙන් informative expository writing එකක්, passage එකක් starts with අපි හිතමු paragraph එකක් කියලා ඡේදයක්, right? It starts with a thesis statement. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේක තමයි මේ paragraph එකේ කතා වෙන්නේ. Then the body. අපි දෙන points උයි අපේ examples උයි එනවා. ඊළඟට concluding statement. ඒකට paragraph එක ඉවර කරනවා. ඡේදය ඉවර කරනවා මෙන්න මේවා තමයි විස්තර උනේ. මෙන්න මේක තමයි මේකෙන් අපිට take away එක මේකෙන් ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? So this you can do now. Right? Now write the same essay on African elephants in crisis in an expository style. What's the difference here? Expository style. ඔගොල්ලෝ කලින් ලියපු essay එකම ආයේ ලියනවා in the expository style. What does that mean? Gayashini? What is the difference here? Gayashini?
I add my opinions also.
That's right. So you can add your own opinions also. Shouldn't take long, right? ගියසරේ එකම ආයි ලියන්න adding your opinions. Okay? And I'll give you the මොකද්ද module එකේ ඉතින් මෙහෙම තමයි ලියන්නමනේ තියෙන්නේ, right? So ලියන්නම වෙනවා. All right? මලිත මට එදා ඔයාගේ homework ටික හම්බුනේත් නැහැ. නේද? ඔක්කොම හම්බුන්නේ නැහැනේ, සමහර ටික භාගයක් කොහෙද හම්බුනේ? මලිත
Miss, ඇහෙනවද?
දැන් ඇහෙනවා.
Miss කියන එක.
Malika?
African elephant make
African elephant. එක ලිව්වේ නැද්ද ඔයා?
ඒක ලියන්න බැරි වුණා.
Malika?
ඒක ලියන්න බැරි වුණා.
Right. දැන් ඉතින් එහෙනම් ඒකත් එක්කම expository style එකට ලියන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Right? That means expository කියන්නේ අපි opinion එකක් දෙනවා. මෙහෙම වෙන්න ඕනේ. මෙහෙම වෙන්න හොඳ නෑ. ඔයාලත් මෙහෙම කරන්න. අපි මෙහෙම කරමු. අපි මෙහෙම නොකරොත් මෙන්න බලන්න තියෙන දේ ඔයගලන් තේරුම් ගන්න, ළමයින්ට උගන්වන්න කියලා අපි කියනවා. අපේ අදහස දෙනවා. අපේ opinion කියන්නේ අපේ අදහස තමයි නේ. ඒ මාතෘකාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඒ මාතෘකාව ගැන විස්තරත් කරලා පේනවනේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම දේවල් වෙන්න පුළුවන් බලන්න ඇයි අපි මෙහෙම කරන්නේ කියලා you have to explain. දැන්වත් ඒක ලියනවද මලිත? මලිත
ඕකේ මිස්. දැන් ලියන්න බලන්න.
දැන් පටන් ගන්න. දැන් වහාම. I'm here if there's anything you need. Are we all right? Does anyone need any help? Sanju, are you okay?
මොකද කරන්නේ?
Sanju,
මොකද මේ කරන්නේ?
what is? Sanju චුට්ටක් හයියෙන් කතා කරනවා කටහඬ කැඩෙනවා Sanju.
African elephant is crisis එකේ මොකද්ද මේ again කරන්න තියෙන්නේ?
හා ඔයාලගේ ඔපීනියන් එක. දැන් එදා අපි ලියුවේ ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් නේ මෙන්න මෙහෙමයි මෙච්චර ඉස්සර කාලේ මෙච්චර හිටියා දැන් කාලේ මෙච්චර ඉන්නවා මෙන්න මේකයි හේතු අඩු වෙන්න. ඒ ටිකනේ. දැන් ලියන්න ඕන ඔයාලගේ ඔපීනියන් එක. මෙහෙම අඩු වුණාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? මම මෙහෙමයි හිතන්නේ. මම හිතනවා ඔයාලත් මෙහෙම හිතන්න ඕනේ. That is what should be included. Okay Sanju?
Okay, sorry.
Okay, මේක more පස්සේ නා persuasive writing කියලා එක වෙනම එකක්. ඒක කරන්නේ තනිකරම වෙන කෙනෙක් අපේ විදිහට අර නම්ම ගන්න එක. මේක එච්චරම එහෙම නම්ම ගන්නේ නැහැ. but අපේ opinions උත් තැන් දෙක තුනක කියන්න පුළුවන්. Okay?
හරි.
Right. Okay, right. Tharindi, are you okay?
Yes, miss.
අර කැවිල්ල හැදිලා වැටුනේ එහෙම නෑනේ නේ?
No.
Gayashini and Malika, she has fever apparently. COVID නෙවෙයිලු. නැත්තම් හොඳයි. Malika, are you okay?
Yes, miss.
Malika,
Miss,
are you okay?
I'm okay.
Right. Okay. All right. Gayashini, need any help?
No, miss, I'm right.
Okay. Right. Tenses මාරු කරගන්න එපා. That was one of the biggest mistakes I saw in your writing. එක දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරද්දී ඒකේ tense එක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. වෙනම දෙයක් ගැන එක සැරේටම මම අනාගතේ මෙහෙම කරනවා හරි මොකක් හරි එහෙම අදහසක් ආවොත් you can change the tense. But නැත්තම් එක දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරද්දී you can't change tenses. Okay?
Okay, miss.
Not just you Gayashini. Sorry Gayashini. ඔයාට විතරක් නෙමෙයි කිව්වේ. කට්ටියටම.
Okay, it's okay.
All right. Okay. I'll give you another 5 minutes and then I'm moving on. So it's 7:58. By 8:05, I'll be moving on. About 1 to 2 minutes more. Okay, Gayashini, I'm going to tell you where you need to correct yourself.
Okay, Miss.
Quickly mark yourself, okay? There were 5 million elephants of cutoff. But at present, you don't say in, but you can say in ඇත්තටම අඩුයි පාවිච්චි කරනවා, right? The 0.5 million elephants. Okay. Future generations, the future generation, the එතන plural singular, I can't really understand. Another destruction, DE.
Okay.
Disappear, check spellings, cut off one S, add another P. Okay, for their tusks, kill elephants for their tusks in the ivory trade. Something like that. Other than that, it's okay. මට මේව type කරලා එවන්න බැරි නිසා තමයි මම මේ දැන් මෙහෙමම කියන්නේ. Elephants are value. මං එදා සංජුට එව්වා නේද වෙනස්කම් කරන්න ඕන තැන් ටික. ඒ වචන සමහර ඒවා ආයි වරද්දලා. Sanju, your vocabulary is very good. ඔයා මේ සෑහෙන try කරනවා වෙනස් විදිහට ලියන්න. Spellings ටික සුට්ටක් හැබැයි හදාගන්න වෙනවා. Okay? Okay, Sanju මම ටක් ගාලා කියන ඒවා ටික හදාගන්න පුළුවන්ද? Red pen එකක් හරි මොකක් හරි තියනවා නම් ලේසි. Elephants වල n හැලිලා are valuable resource කියන එක I want you to check the spellings. Resource. මට කියන්න පුළුවන් ඉතින් වැඩක් නැහැ නේද? RESOURCE. They give more beautiful. චූටි වැරදි තියෙනවා මම ඒව නම් බලන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. Okay? Overall හොඳයි ඒකයි. Helps. දැන් මම ඔය කියපු මේ tense වල වැරද්දක් එනවා. They give more beautiful to the world and help to balance. ඇයි එක සයිඩම tense එක මාරුනේ? Helps නේ? Help හරි helps හරි. Helps balance nature. Balance BALANCE. Special SPECIAL. African F එකක් අඩු කරගන්න. Elephants are bigger than Asians. Asian කියන්නේ නමක්. Capital A. In my point of view. Beauty, B-E-A-U-T-Y. Beauty of nature. Reducing the amounts in Halila. Check because, please. Capital letters matter in the bear. Against T එකක් එනවා අන්තිමට. මම වැරදියට හිතන්න එපා සංජු මම මේ මට ටයිප් කරන්න කම්මැලිකමට කියන්නේ ඕකේ නැත්නම් මම මේ ඔක්කොම ටිකයි ටයිප් කර හදලා දෙන්න එපේ මට මේක ලේසි ඔයා ගොඩාක් ලියලා right compared to the others ගොඩක් ලියලා තියෙනවා හොඳට vocabulary පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවා වෙනස් සෑහෙන try කරලා තියෙනවා වෙනස් විදිහට ලියන්න very happy එකම දේ අර දැන් කොහොමත් වෙලාවෙත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවනේ අනිත් වෙලාවට නම් සංජු හොඳට ස්පෙලිංස් චෙක් කරලා ලියන්න හොඳද ස්පෙලිංස් තමයි ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නේ මට දැනට තියෙන okay also we can use අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන එකනේ එතකොට ඒක past tense වෙන්න බෑ okay technology African එකේ double F නම් අයින් කරන්න ඒක නම් වැරදෙන්නත් බෑ මෙතන තියෙනවනේ right I'm moving on I'm sorry but වැඩි වෙලාව Tharindu are you okay Tharindu are you okay
Okay, miss, I will send.
right නෑ ඒක නේ මම මේ ඔයාගෙන් අද okay කියලා අහන්නේ හැමතිස්සෙම ඇඟේ තත්ත්වයට okay අද මම ඔයාට කලබල කරන්නෙත් නෑ push කරන්නෙත් නෑ වද දෙන්නෙත් නෑ I'm just checking on you on how you are feeling not your work Malita can you send it now or පස්සේ පුළුවන්ද class එක ඉවර වෙලා
ක්ලාස් එක ඉවරලා මිස් මම මේව කරන්න තාම ලියනවා
alright එවන්න එදා වගේ ලියලා අමතක වෙන්න බෑ right okay now this is imaginative writing කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම වෙන දෙයක් නෙවෙයි අපි නිකන් හිතනවා ආනේ දැන් මෙහෙම if we go into space what will happen මෙහෙම tsunami එකක් આવුත් what will happen මෙහෙම මිනිස්සු කට්ටියක් එකතුලා මේ වගේ වැඩක් කරොත් what will happen right so novels katha short stories poetry plays what are plays malita plays කියන්නේ මොනවද malita play එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද anyone who can tell me what a play is yes malita
මිස් ආයිත් වචනේ පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්නකෝ
place
ප්ලේ
oh සෙල්ලම් කරනවා කියන place එක නෙවෙයි
තැන
no a place place මේ play එක
Is role play.
role playing is one part of plays
Drama.
right role play is impromptu plays is not impromptu
Drama or something.
what do you think Gayashini
Conversation. No.
right you're trying okay give me a minute sorry because my headset is not there I can hear everything around me so I have to be a bit cautious anyone else who can try plays කියන්නේ yes drama amma කිව්වද
නෑ උඹට අහුන මොකක් හරි වචනේ
alright okay plays කියලා කියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට stage plays වගේ right so මේ ඔක්කොමම ඇත්තටම වෙන දේවල්ම නෙමෙයිනේ ලියන්නේ සමහරලාට හිතලා දේවල් මෙහෙම අර මොකද්ද දැන් මතක නැහැ. හුණු වටේ කතාව. එහෙම ඇත්තටම වෙච්ච දේවල් නෙමෙයි වෙන්නේ තියෙන්නේ right? but මෙහෙම ළමෙක් වෙනුවෙන් fight කරොත් අමල කොහොමද? So that is a play, fictional writing. කියන්නේ ඇත්ත නෙමෙයි හිතන දේවල් writing. Okay? So this is another activity. දැන් මේකේ මම sorry හිතනවා ඇති අයියෝ මේත් එක්ක බෑ මේ ටීචර්ත් එක්ක බෑ ලියන්නමයි දෙන්නේ වෙන වැඩක් කරන්නද ලැද්දාද? කරන්න දෙයක් නැත. The module is about writing. Okay, so without writing මට කියාගෙන විස්තරේ ගියාට වැඩක් වෙන්නේ නැත. You have to write. Right? ඔයාලා මේක ඉවර කරන්න ඕනේ. This is a story. මේ ටික කියවලා 80 to 100 words මෙතන ඉඳලා කතාව continue කරන්නයි ඕන. Anyway, in a good way, in a bad way, in a neutral way. Right? Little Sammy got home from school at the usual time. However, unlike on the other days, not on the other days, sorry, on other days. However, unlike on other days, his mother didn't come to greet him. In fact, the house was way too quiet. Sammy opened the door, stepped in and saw. You have to describe what he saw and whatever that takes place from that point onwards. Okay? So little Sammy. ගෙදර ආවා වෙනද වෙලාවටම ඒ වුණාට වෙනද වගේ අම්මා ආවිනේ යව මුණ ගැහෙන්න. ගොඩාක් ගේ නිශ්ශබ්ද වැඩි. right? ඒක නිසා එයා දොර ඇරලා ඇතුළට යද්දී ආ දැක්කා. මොකක්ද? Can we start that? මට බනින්න එපා මේක මොඩියුල් එකේ හැටි. මට මේ ඕන කමට මම මේ ඔයගලට කියලා ලියවනවා නෙවෙයි. Okay? So here, Tharindu, can you manage? Tharindu, කලන්තේ දාලා වැටුණාද? නෑ නේද? හොඳට ඉන්නවා නේද?
Yes, miss.
Are you okay? Can you do it or are you tired?
No, miss, no, I can do it.
Right. Okay. Sanju? 80 to 100 words. Admin Nayone, මෙතනම තියෙනවා 35, 40. ඊට අමතරව. In addition, you need about 80 to 100 words. Sanju, are you okay with that? Right. දැන් මෙතනත් බලන්න tense එක continue වෙන්න ඕන. This is in the past tense. Right? Okay. Gayashini can manage?
Yes.
Okay. Malita, can you manage?
Okay, miss.
Right. Okay. Right. Now, so them up novels, short stories, poetry, plays, speech, songs. Remember, imaginative writing killer. Now let's watch a video. Meme Dhananjay Hettiarachi, he's a very good speaker, right? How fiction works, right? Fiction කියන්නේ වෙන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් කොහොමද එයා කියන්නේ කියන එක. මොකද ඒක බලන්න ඕනේ. You will have to do a speech next. Okay? You can write it or do whatever and be ready with it by next week. And we can start with the speech. What do you all say? පුළුවන් නේ? Are we okay with that? Thank you, Gayashini. Otherwise, I felt like I feel like I'm talking to a wall over here. Right. Okay. So now let's watch this speech. Look at what he says, right? And balanna monowada make it in a fictional aspects. Monowada make it in a imaginative aspects. Monowada kene. එයා කරන දේවල් කියන දේවල් ඒවා හරිය එයා සමහර වෙලාවට එයාගේ පරණ දේවල් ගැන කතා කරනවා right සමහර නෑ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට but ඊට අමතරව අනාගතයේ දේවල් කතා කරන්නේ කොහොමද ස්පීච් එකක් ඩිලිවර් කරන්නේ කොහොමද මිනිස්සුන්ගේ හිත දිනාගන්නේ ගොඩාක් ඒවා ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒකයි මම මේකම සිලෙක්ට් කරේ නැත්නම් වෙනේම තියෙනවා ඉතින් speeches right? So please watch it, learn from it, and you will have to do a speech next week. Okay?
Danajaya Hediarachi.
Can you all hear? ඇහෙන්නේ නැති කවුරුත් ඉන්නවද? No, right? Okay.
I see something. I see something. Danajaya Hediarachi.
You and I are not very different from this flower. Just like this flower is unique, you are unique. All of us has something special.
Can you all hear? Please give me an answer, yes or no?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes, miss.
Okay.
That makes us as beautiful. Do you know what makes you special? Now, the answer to that can be a little difficult to find because sometimes life has a cruel way of picking out your petals, breaking you in two, and throwing you into the trash. And when you're broken, it's very difficult to feel special. Mr. Contest Chair, my fellow flowers, I can remember the first time I broke. I was 17 years old. I had already flunked high school and managed to get myself arrested. Now, I wasn't afraid of the cops, but there was one person I was very afraid of, and that was my mama. Raise your hand if you have an emotional mother. Let me see. Put them all together, you get mama. I can hear her scream outside the police station. Even the cops were afraid. She came up to me, held the iron bars, looked into my eyes, and I saw a tear coming down her face. Now, I've seen my mama cry before, but mothers cry 3 types of tears. Tears of joy, tears of sorrow, and tears of shame. And when a son sees a mother cry tears of shame, that's a life-changing moment. She looked at me and said, "Son, I want you to be a better man." That night, when I drove home, my dad was waiting for me at home. Now, my dad is a cool dad. Raise your hand if you have a cool dad. Put them all together, you get my dad. My dad came up to me and said, "Son, it's okay. You flunked your exams. You already got arrested. That's fine. You get that from your mother's side. I want you to start working immediately." And I said, "Okay." So my dad took me to meet one of his friends called Sam. Now, Sam was an accountant who had an accounting firm and had generously decided to make me his personal assistant. And there he was. He looked like a teddy bear. But this man was special. I looked at him, and he looked at me. And then he said the most amazing thing. He said, "Son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you decide to work with me, I can help you find that something." And I was like, "Whoa, that's the first time in my whole life somebody has ever told they see something in me." And I started working for Sam. And every day after work, He used to tell me stories about the world, about history, about culture, about philosophy, and it was much more interesting than what I learned in school. And I discovered I can dream. And I started dreaming, ladies and gentlemen. After 1 year, I went back into high school, completed my exams, and went into college. After successfully completing college, I found a great girl, but not a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Have you ever had that problem? And when you're lost, it's difficult to feel special. So I went back to my cool dad. And I said, Dad, I feel lost. He said, you are like your mother. So my dad introduced me to this strange club that had a strange name, with strange people talking. On the first meeting, they told me to do something called a table topic. I aced it. But while I was speaking, I see a strange man seated in the back row, humble, simple, the unfailing quality of kindness in his eyes. As soon as I finished, he walked up to me, looked me dead straight in the eye, and said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you come here twice a month, maybe we can find that something. And ladies and gentlemen, I discovered I could speak, and I love speaking. And that led me to become a teacher. I know what it's like to not have enough money in your bank account. I know what it's like to worry when the bills start coming in. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up my beautiful wife and I ask her, honey, why did you marry me? She says, I saw something in you. But I still don't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm a dreamer, I'm a speaker, and I learned the unfailing quality of unconditional love from my wife. I was broken, and I've been broken, lost, and broke many times in my life. But the people in my life were able to reach into the trash can and make me whole again. If it was up to me, I would have never been able to do that. And this is why if you have great people in your life, no matter how broke, how lost, or how broken you become, they can piece you back together. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at you, I see something in you. But I don't know what it is. Over to you.
Wasn't that really good? Hello?
Yes, miss.
Did you like it? Did you understand it?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay, that's okay. Tika Kari understand no, that's it. Tharindi has disappeared. Malika, how was it? Did you understand?
A little bit.
Okay, right. Gayashidi,
It's good, miss.
what is it, Gayashidi?
It's good.
Okay. Tharindi, did you miss the video? Tharindi, did you miss the video? Tharindi? Tharindi? Right. Now,
I have
next.
connection.
Right. Shall I send you the link? කට්ටියට මම link එක එවන්නද කෝකටත් ඕනනම් බලන්න. ආයි පොඩ්ඩක් බැලුවොත් සමහරට ඔළුවට යයිනේ නේද? Right.
Okay.
So, okay. So now ඊළඟ සතිය අපි පටන් ගන්නෙ මෙන්න මේකෙන්. After COVID, right? So you have to, let's say, about 15 sentences, okay? And talk about, first you can talk about what COVID-19 has changed in your lives, right? What it has made difficult and what you miss and what you really want to do. And then you can go on to what you are going to do, right? So you can use these phrases to bring the ideas. Okay, so starting that on Monday, next Monday, you all have to be ready for this. Okay, right. Now yes, we'll. Okay, now that we have a little bit of time, please start on this. Please start on this. Playashini, okay? Did you start this?
Yes, Miss.
Right. And Malita? Malita, did you start this or are you completing the earlier ones?
I'm complete early one.
Okay, right. But don't forget this, okay? Right. Sanju, did you start this?
Yes.
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 Okay, right. Tharindi, start on this if possible. Right. Okay. Then we'll stop the class for today. All right. And please send me these activities, completed activities, and prepare yourselves for the speech on Monday. All right. Then I'll see you all. Good night. Can you please say good night to me at least?
Good night.
Bye. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Miss.
Bye. 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 Bye.
මොකද්ද මිස්
Bye. Apathy?
මොකද්ද මිස් ස්පීච් එකක් ගැන කිව්වේද
Malika, I can't hear you. What?
මොකද්ද මිස් ස්පීච් එකක් ගැන දැන් කිව්වේ
Make a. Nang kiwe COVID ගැන. Make a. Okay.
ඕකේ
Right. Okay. Tharindu, get well soon. Bye.